Alright, what's up, guys? Welcome to another episode of the TMossBoss Show. And in today's episode, I did a video version talking on the video game Zero Hour, but here's the thing though. After I had posted that video or recorded that video, I decided that I was going to stream the game again. And I'm actually glad I did the second time around because I streamed the game once before, didn't really know what I was getting myself into. Played it maybe sometime last week. Thought it was a good game. I was like, man, this is I can see why this game is getting the coverage that it's getting. Then I played it a third time and I'm like, fam, how is that? My question is to the developers behind Zero Hour, and yeah, maybe that's a bug where they were developing some things but forgot to add some things. And I'm open on playing the video game again, but at the same time, it's like I gotta ask that question. When have you guys ever seen SWAT team members allow another SWAT team member to go into a building by themselves? So that's pretty much what had happened. So they have this feature where you could get a grappling hook, throw it on top of a building, and then you can like bust in through a window if you see some enemies in there and stuff. So that's what I decided to do. I decided to go in there loud and proud. You know, I think people know me by now. They know I'm not a strategic and tactical person. I like being loud and proud. And if that's not an option in that game, then that needs to be said somewhere, that it's like you can't go into buildings being loud and proud. You know, you gotta be strategic. You gotta be tactical. You know, you have to go in there with a game plan. The thing is this: when I'm playing a video game, I'm playing a video game. I'm not expecting that's like a video game where you go and you're like playing a racing game, for an example, and they're all like, oh, in this game you need to get car insurance. You need to renew your tabs. You need to get a driver's license. I'm trying to think. I don't think any video game, any racing game at least that I've ever played, has never been like that. They're like, if you know how to play these types of games, then play our game. I feel like that was the motto at one point in time when it came down to gaming, but it just seems like now you have to be like a former military guy, or you gotta be a former racer, you gotta be a former this, you gotta be a former that just to play a video game. You can't just be some average person looking for a fun video game to play. Nah, it's not like how it was 20 plus years ago. No, it's like I don't even feel like it was like that 10 years ago. I feel like 10 years ago it was like the last wave of like good games. Like that's when like games were, you know, and I don't know, maybe developers just throughout the years, they just don't have that passion. But it's like, fam, it's coming like, you know, the thing is this: talking on indie developers, I feel that you guys have something to prove more than bigger developers. Bigger developers have already made it. We all know of the Call of Duties, the Battlefields, the Apex Legends, I'm trying to think of some other shooter games. And when I look at a Rainbow Six Siege, and when I look at a video game like Zero Hour, I'm like, fam, there's something with this game. Like, I don't know, it's like a spark or it's something, but there's something special about this game. I do not want it to see it fall under. But when you have stuff like that going down where the AI teammates can't follow it, it's those types of things that stick out to me. It's those types of things where I'm all like, should I continue playing this game? Because I'm not trying to have it where if I'm having a bad day and then I decide to play this game and then I deal with some stuff like that, that's just going to send me over the edge. And I feel that a lot of game developers forget that. Like, there are people out there that have emotions. We're all not just going to play the game and be talking like the content creators that get paid off to talk good about a game. No, and it's the thing is, like, if you pay attention to your reviews, if you pay attention to what an actual legitimate person is saying, and I'm not trying to say them content creators that get paid off to talk good on the game, they're not legitimate, but at the same time, I do feel that they leave out parts of their review. And it's like, and it's one of those things where, you know, that's how you know that they done left off parts of their review. If they talk good on that game and they're still playing that game till this day, they genuinely like that game. If they talk good on that game one time and that was the one and only time they played it, and they don't be playing that game, the last time they played that game was the last time they made a video on it, and let's say they made that video years ago, that right there tells you that that game isn't all that good. If they're playing it on a regular basis, that's what's gonna, and the thing is this, I feel like game developers need to know that that's what's gonna drive an audience into playing your guys' game time after time over and over again. You know, if I'm coming out with a video game, I want people, I'm not, my thing is this, I'm giving that game out to people where I know they're going to be playing it for a long period of time. And I know, yeah, they're probably thinking along the lines like, oh, well, let me just give it out to this big content creator. You know, they're going to probably get some people to buy the game and stuff. But I'm like, fam, that's the thing, though. Those people that you're trying to get to buy the game, how do you know they're going to like that game or not? You ain't asked them no questions about that game. You're just assuming, oh, if I put out this game and have their favorite content creator play it, therefore, that's going to give them a reason to play the game. Do you know how many times I've seen some of my favorite content creators play a video game? I don't go out and get it. I didn't go out and get the latest NBA 2K. I didn't go out and get the latest FIFA. I didn't go out and get what are some other video games. There's games where I'm all like, I just even refuse to buy them. Like, for an example, Call of Duty. My thing is this. It would have been a very slim chance of me buying that game. Maybe if it had been some good friends that wanted me to play that game with them, then I'm like, okay, let's see what happens. But overall, if I'm down to my last however much money it costs to buy Call of Duty Black Ops. I feel like I said Grand Theft Auto. If I said Grand Theft Auto, I meant to say Call of Duty Black Ops 6. But anyways, if I'm down to my last bit of money and I have a choice on getting whatever video game I want to get or Call of Duty Black Ops 6, fam, I'm telling you right now, I will go out and get the worst video game that I played like years ago back when I was a kid than to get Call of, because I feel like games back then when I played them and I didn't like them, I feel like that back then there was some sort of a skill issue. I'll admit that. Nowadays it's like, fam, I done played well over probably 1,000 video games. Like, if I add up all the games I played on my PlayStation 2, all the games I played on my PlayStation 3, PlayStation 4, 5, Xbox 360, Xbox One, Xbox Series X, PC. Fam, I know for a fact that I played, if it ain't over 1,000, it's close to 1,000. I really should just sit down and count up all the different games that I played, at least the ones that I can remember back from my PlayStation 2 days, and then, just, continue on. But bro, I'm telling you, like, it's something where if somebody gets on me for a skill issue, and I feel like that's what people would say for the 0 Hour game, they're all like, oh, well, it sounds like that's a skill issue. How is that a skill issue? My thing is this is a shooting game, all right? This is overall a shooting game. Because I done played games before where I need to be strategic and tactical and quiet and all that stuff. I don't mind doing that. But my thing is this. I like having fun. I like challenging myself. So if going in loud and proud, if that's my version of a challenge, fam, they should have that option for that gamer, all right? But my thing is this. How am I the one to blame, okay? That's like saying that let's say if this was on some real life stuff where a SWAT team member went into a house, his teammate stood behind, and then he went in there and got shot and killed. You gonna tell that man, you ain't gonna be able to tell him because he's dead. But it's like, do you think that's something that he's gonna want to hear before he dies? Oh, well, sounds like you were having a skill issue. No. My teammates, my SWAT team wasn't behind me. And there's games that I played where it's like either they'll teleport or they just flat out follow you. I don't know what the issue is with that game, but it's like, that's one of those questions where it's like, I'm not trying to come off as disrespectful, but at the same time, it's like, when have you ever seen a SWAT team member do that? Because if so, they did not know how to do their job. They didn't. So I know for a fact that you guys ain't never seen if you did research about like SWAT team, like just situations and scenarios, because overall that's like what that game is supposed to be simulating, like a SWAT team or like some special force going out and like taking out some bad guys or something. But my thing is this. You can look at games like Rainbow Six Siege. You can look at games like Ready or Not. I'm trying to think of some other games that got like AI teammates and stuff. But mainly them two games, because I say that's what that game, like, it falls in that category of Ready or Not and Rainbow Six. Just overall, all the Rainbow Six games. You've never seen where at least me, I know I ain't never seen that, where the teammates just stand there and they don't do nothing. That's something where it's like, fam, come on now. Like, that you guys got to do research when developing a video game. You cannot come out with a video game and do no research whatsoever. That's why with me, the day when I decide to come out with a video game, I already know what genres I'm gonna get into. Shooting games and racing games, because those are games that I've studied. Those are games that I've played. Those are games where if there's a movie version of that game, I'm going out and I'm watching it. So it's like, yeah, I watched a lot of shooter movies growing up. Like, I didn't watch, my thing is this, if I'm watching a movie that's inaccurate, and let's say I looked that up, let's say if the movie, I'm trying to think of a military movie that's not based on a true story, because I feel like all the times when I do watch military movies, they're all based on true story. But yeah, let's say I watch a military movie that's not based on a true story, and then there's all these like facts that's coming out about the movie where it's like, oh, that was inaccurate, that gun doesn't make that noise. Oh, if you're running, you know, like with all that cargo on you, you ain't gonna be running that fast. You're gonna be. Those are things I'm gonna be paying attention to. But at the same time, I'm going to be adding the element of fun in that game. I'm not gonna come out with a game where it's going to be overly, if people want an overly difficult challenge, I will do that for them. But if they just want to just get through the game, experience the story, see what it's all about, I'm going to have that option there for them too. You know, so it's just something where I'm like, fam, it's just people. You got to do your research when coming out with a video game. And then even with racing games, it's like, I'm not going to come out with a racing game where a Mustang is gonna be faster than a Bugatti, or a bicycle is gonna be faster than a Dodge Charger. It's like, man, come on now, really? It's things like that where it's like, it makes me almost think that you guys didn't even do no research with the game. You just wanted to hurry up and come out with this cash grab. You put the bare minimum into it, and then you expect people to think like, oh, if we come out with these videos talking on like, oh, this is what this latest update's gonna do, or we come out with these Steam pages where they talk on the latest updates, and you making it seem like that you guys are doing something, when in reality it's like, fam, I feel that you guys have not done nothing. If a game's been out for a long period of time and there's issues that still exist from when that game very first came out, fam, it's one of those things where it's like, you guys can't be taking days off on a video game. Not in this day and age, where you got a lot of people nowadays that are very, very critical with video games. And they have a right to. My thing is this, you done spent money on a video game, right? And you want to have fun with this video game. You're thinking along the lines like, there's that kid in you that grew up playing whatever consoles you had back then, and you're wanting that same exact feeling for whatever video game is out now, and it gives you the worst feeling of all time. Fam, a person has every right to be critical on that game, especially if you haven't spent money on it. I don't care if it's $5, $10, $60, $70, $100. My thing is this, I spent money on a video game. I'm expecting to have fun with this video game. If I'm not having fun with it, then fam, how do you expect me to talk good about it? So it's like, besides that issue, everything else about Zero Hour was decent, in my opinion. You know, like, yeah, there were some things that they can work on, but other than that, it was decent. It's a game where I'm like, maybe if they fix that, and if me and that game's paths ever cross again, I might be open on buying it, but it probably won't be at its full price. Yeah, the game is only like $20, but I'm like, fam, I didn't play. There's this other video game that just recently came out where I was just talking on that. Actually, yeah, it was the last episode, Echo Point Nova. I played that game. That game actually, it's like a few dollars more than Zero Hour, but still, it's in that category as an indie game. I think only one guy is working on it. Maybe there might be other people working on it. It might be the same amount of people, but regardless, my thing is this. That game came out, and it hasn't been out as long as Zero Hour. And matter of fact, let me see when when that game very first came out. Hold on for a second. I gotta look it up, because I did have it open. They probably ain't gonna have it where, yeah, they have it when they very first, or not when they very first, but when it released out of early access, but they don't have when the game early access release. So this game, it originally came out August 12th, 2020. And then this Echo Point Nova, that game came out. Do they have like an early access thing? No. The game came out September 24th, 2024. So it's like, the thing is this, you would think the game that's been out for 4 years now, that it would have more experience, right? How is it that whoever these developers are, they done worked on 2 games. Both games got an overwhelmingly positive rating. And then Zero Hour, let me go back to that real quick. Zero Hour. That game, very positive. Well, yeah, it does have a... Bro, why is it not just clicking on it? Very positive, but its recent reviews are mixed. Why is that? You know, and it's like, and you guys have been out for 4 years. You guys got more experience. I feel like that y'all have a bigger fan base too. Yeah, so there was like 25,000 reviews. That's all the reviews that this game doesn't receive. And then Echo Point Nova doesn't receive 923 reviews. So the game is bigger. 0 Hour, this game, your guys' game is talking to the developers. Your guys' game is bigger than Echo Point Nova. That game's only been out for some days. Your guys' game's been out for 4 years. How is it that this game is in a better standings than your guys' game? Because I feel like that if Echo Point Nova had the same audience as 0 Hour, people probably wouldn't be playing 0 Hour. If Echo Point Nova would be one of those games where you see that game trending on TikTok, you see that game trending on Twitter. Yeah, you got like accounts like Dexertu talking about it. You got people all over YouTube where it's like they're not playing that game because, oh, I was paid to. No, they're playing that game because they have genuine fun with it. So to me, it's like, fam, that's what you gotta aim for when you're coming out with a video game. You can't just come out with whatever and then thinking, oh yeah, people are supposed to be cool with that. No, we're not. We're not gonna be cool with that. All right. So anyways, with that being said, yeah, hopefully, you know, just at some point in time, 0 Hour does get better. But if not, then yeah, bro, it's one of those games where I'm all like, hey, you know, if you look up one day and then you got people playing your game and then you got to make that hard decision of like, hey, we're going to be shutting down the servers and all that stuff, don't say I didn't warn you. You got to come out with a game where the number one priority in that game should be the community and the fans behind that game having fun. Nothing else. No money, no battle passes, no nothing else. People having fun with your video game. That should be your number one priority, all right? So, anyways, with that being said, I will talk to y'all later. Thank you guys for watching and or listening. Stay tuned for the next episode. Like, subscribe, viewing this on YouTube. Follow, subscribe, viewing this on a podcast streaming service. Thank you guys, and peace.